So I'm Guy. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zeros Labs. This is Pedro.
I'm Pedro, CTO of Zaros Labs. Nice to meet you all.
We're going to talk about how we're powering on-chain perps with liquid staking tokens. So instead of just talking about Zeros, I'm going to give you guys some context about perps and about the market itself, because I'm pretty sure you heard of like 20 new perps dexes in the last month. So we're going to address why does that make sense and how are we different. And if you get interested, you can research about us later. So I think that will be a lot more fun. So this is Zeros. Ignore the weird font because it was not supposed to be like that. But we're perps powered by LSCs and LSCs powered by perps rewards. So we already presented ourselves, but what is our mission? Our mission is to achieve real yield and efficient liquidity. So our vision is to become the preferred liquidity hub for on-chain derivatives. So we're not only the first perps DEX that is going to provide LSCs holders an opportunity to improve their APY from 3.8% to, I don't know, 10, 11% a year because of perps markets trading fees. But we also can be used as a liquidity layer. So if you have a derivatives protocol or something that needs liquidity, you can build on top of Zeros. Like other protocols, like options protocols and futures protocols can build on top of synthetics, for example. The first thing that I want to address here is there's still no winner in the Perps DEX's top 5 competitors. There's no Pareto law achieved. So if you take a look from August 2022 to July 2023, the top 5 changed a lot. So GMX was almost achieving like Pareto law, and they went way down. It's been like, I don't know, 6 months they're going down. Quenta is going up. Vertex just came up. AGMX just came up. So there's a lot of new players coming up. And the thing is, there's still room for new competitors if you have a good new protocol, you're providing value to users, you're thinking about the traders, you're thinking about liquidity providers. So I think the main thing here is to address that, yes, there's still room for competition. I don't know if anyone else here is building a Perps DEX, probably. But there's still room if you have, if you're going for a gap in the market, if you're focusing on things that the other Perps DEXs are not focusing. The second thing is, what do DEXs need? So with more than a year of research, we realized that, and this is on-chain data, by the way, so you can verify that later. But the main thing that differentiates us, like DEXs from centralized exchanges for futures trading, is the number of listed pairs and the volume achieved for each market. So what makes us so far from centralized exchanges volume, like for example, in 2022, 2 weeks of the Perps of futures trading volume on Binance represented the whole year in DeFi. That's what says that DeFi is just a drop in the ocean of TradFi, and we're not even close to centralized finance yet. So what we need to aim for is achieving a higher number of listed pairs of markets available with deep liquidity. And that's the main reason why we're building our whole liquidity provisioning model from scratch. So the last thing that I want to mention before we talk a little bit about Zeros is the core of the issue. The core of the issue is low capital efficiency, because of course the numbers are a little bit low right now because we're in the bear market, but back in the bull market, we achieved some pretty decent numbers in TVL and trading volume per day. You could see GMX achieving like sporadically $1 billion in volume per day. And the main problem is, this is also on-chain data. The thing is, 80% of the liquidity goes to 20% of the listed markets indexes. That's not capital efficient, because if only you could designate liquidity in an agnostic way that would move from market to market depending on the demand and concentrate in the same pool, creating different risk categories, that would be a lot better. And that's what we're going to explain, like what we are doing. And of course, if you guys already understand a little bit about Perps, about some of our competitors, you'll see that even themselves admit that their liquidity provisioning model leads to liquidity fragmentation. That's what we're trying to fight.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to talk briefly about the problems we're solving. So for the trader, as Guy just mentioned, we have a lot of liquidity fragmentation. Some protocols, they've chose the design that could be more scalable in some situations, but also lead to liquidity fragmentation. We don't have Perps DEX today that aggregates multiple chains, multiple markets into the same liquidity source. So I think that's one of the main reasons that we don't have the same levels of liquidity and volume like on Binance, Bybit, and big centralized exchanges. We also have a compromised UX in many projects, decentralized projects, because the truth is that building a good UX in DeFi is hard. We're getting the tooling now with account abstraction and more designers and good front-end engineers coming to the space, but it's still not on par with feature parity with centralized exchanges. So that's a significant issue. And we also have, in many cases, slow settlement and high slippage or chain barrier. What does that mean? That means that while you can have like sub-second settlement and execution on big centralized exchanges, you have the latency of transactions in the blockchains. That's a native feature of blockchains. But that needs to be solved in order to achieve mass adoption for, I'm not even talking about use cases that have tons of users. Just for finance, we need faster settlement. And we have this barrier of having different chains with fragmented liquidity, and that's where we are using Chainlink CCIP, by the way. That's one of the main reasons why we are here. So we believe strongly that CCIP is the best protocol solving this problem, and that's why we're integrating it to solve this issue for DeFi derivatives. So yeah, we are going to provide a much deeper liquidity in a wide range of assets. That's because of our efficiency cluster system, which I believe we'll go dig deeper later. We are providing a CeFi user experience with DeFi properties, so we're not sacrificing decentralization, censorship resistance of DeFi protocols, while shipping a UX that gets to feature parity with centralized exchanges. So that has been our main goal, one of our main goals. And also, by leveraging Chainlink data streams, we have high-frequency trading and interoperability with CCIP, so we can settle trades and solve liquidity fragmentation.
Yeah, before we move on to the liquidity provider side, I just want to add some context about the e-clusters and smart funding algorithm. You guys can take a look at our technical article later, but it's basically risk clusters taking into consideration the volatility, the 24-hour volatility of each asset, each market, and then we created our own dynamic funding rate system, so it adjusts how much will it charge the user to open a position on that market. So that enables someone to create a position on a, I don't know, Pepe market with 50 times leverage, even when we're still bootstrapping liquidity, because at least he'll have the option. Of course, it will be a little bit more expensive, but he will have the option, and this is something you don't on Perps DEXs right now. So you can take a look at the details later.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We're not only using on-chain variables as data to provide these risk management, like skew and the number of positions open in the market, but we are also integrating off-chain data, also using Chainlink, such as volatility of external markets. So we're able to efficiently compute a funding rate that makes sense for the given cluster of correlated markets, like Guy was giving the example of Pepe. Like you could have, for instance, a meme coin cluster where you have different meme coins sharing the same risk parameters, and also a cluster of ETH, BTC, larger liquidity pairs. So I think that's a much interesting way of managing risk compared to how most projects do right now of managing a per market basis. So for the liquidity provider, we are solving a few problems as well. So today, you have few options to earn rewards on top of LSTs. So of course, you have ETH staking yield. I think that's the most reliable source of yield that you have on chain right now and sustainable for long term. You don't have many options of things you can do with these LST tokens. So of course, you can leverage up on Aave. You have a few LSD5 protocols coming up, but you don't have the many strategies that earn real yield on top of LSTs. So by having LST users as first-class citizens on Zaros, we're able to provide them trading rewards And I think that's going to be a pretty interesting advantage we have. It's difficult to bootstrap liquidity, and there are low variety of markets on chain. So as we were talking about, I think probably the #1 reason why users opt to a DEX today are the trading pairs. So the hottest coin of the moment is listed there. People want to trade. Sometimes you only have it on Uniswap and another AMM. So by being able to have this more manageable risk system, we are able to very quickly launch new trading pairs of all sort of like long tail markets, and so I think that's pretty significant. And you also have collateral micromanagement. So you have systems that are solving this problem of having a wide variety of markets, but at the same time, often you have to manage like C ratio, be careful to not be liquidated when you provide liquidity to a Perps system. We are solving this by having a soft liquidation system, where you're not instantly liquidated in your LP position when you're providing liquidity to Zaros. So essentially, we are using Balancer for this. One of our smart contracts operates as a custom pool on Balancer, and we are able to compute a premium or discount based on our risk parameters and based on the relation of collateral and depth of the LP. So that's much easier than having to check every week your position to make sure it's not underwater, and the system just sells or buys according to the risk curve. So
Yeah. This is just a little bit about how a liquidity provider would enter on our website and start providing liquidity. So you enter on our website, you click on the Earn UI. So we're one protocol that has two products, the Earn UI and the Trading UI. You then select your network, you select the type of asset you want to provide liquidity on. We're starting with Frag Stake DEF, Lido Stake DEF, and USDC. You then click on deposit, you mint your account NFT, which is of course transferable. You can transfer it to any other wallet you want to have it on. And then you manage your account, and you can choose if you want to opt for the standard liquidation mode or the soft liquidation mode and enable it to arbitrageurs. This is just a little bit about the UI. We couldn't get a video to show you guys, but we're soon releasing the first public testnet version. That's what I'm going to talk about in a few seconds. This is for the Earn UI. So this is where you provide liquidity on. And this is for the Trading UI. The main point here is this is much more similar to centralized exchanges than decentralized exchanges. So if you compare it to BitMEX and Bybit, it's a lot more similar to that and Binance than GMX, Quenta, and other competitors from us. This is just a little bit about how we're handling the community. So we have our own community value ladder. We want to find our KOLs. We want to find our advocates, our ambassadors within our community. We don't want to be counting on external people to help us grow. Of course, we will have a separated growth partnership program with outsiders, but we want to value the people that are with us since day one, that are helping us to grow the community and actually use the product. So we're a lot focused on advanced traders, deep DeFi users. We don't even have isolated margin mode. We only have cross margin mode. So we're looking for experienced traders and whales. This slide is messed up again, but the QR code works. We tested it. So feel free to join our Discord, get on the whitelist for a testnet because it's going to be a private launch. And there's all the official links there. You can just access our light paper and ask us any questions. So thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.